Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. Some of you have asked about my new art books from a previous video. So I did some research on them and I'm going to share it with you today while doing a gouache still life study. I mentioned that these books are meant for Chinese students to prepare for their entrance exams for art school. So in short, I haven't found any of these books in English, but I do have some alternative resources. I have listed that in the description below and I will talk about that in a minute. So this exam is held once a year and the competition is very intense to say the least. So the demand for these books are really huge. There are also online classes and summer camps in studios to prepare students to paint in this specific art style. I heard that students can choose to use gouache or watercolor for this exam. But since they have to use the provided standard paper, very few people would choose to risk that because using watercolor is more demanding for the paper. The standard paint to use for the exam is some kind of jelly gouache, but it's not the popular Himimiya gouache that so many of us have tried before. It's this really big 42 colored set from another brand. I noticed that in these books they very often refer to these 42 colors. So sometimes it's almost like a formula for students to memorize for the exams to get a better score. For example, some instructions will start with color A and then add the color B and C and so on. But they don't always explain the reason behind it. If you don't have this 42 colored set, it gets very confusing how to mix the colors they tell you to mix. And it's the same for brushstrokes. They're quite meticulous about the shape and direction of each brushstroke. I assume that each brushstroke is to represent one of these squares formed by the contour lines. It's big and chunky in the middle, and as the form turns away from us, it gets narrower and smaller. That's my assumption. But I just have to say that I think it's bizarre to expect every student applying for art school to use the same brushstroke, painting the same subject matter. There's just something so sad about it. I still think this is a very beautiful art style and still find these tutorials very helpful, but I don't think I will follow all the instructions since not all the information here is relevant to me. And if you want to see similar tutorials, I've made a Pinterest board with similar step-by-step images. And I will also link to a YouTube channel with still life painting videos in the same style. When I was painting this watermelon, I found the instructions to be a bit vague. I mostly just followed the pictures and trying to match the colors and value there. I guess I'm not a very intuitive kind of painter. If some of the texts say painted in a breathable or lively manner, I'm not quite sure how to do that. I think I would prefer to say don't make the shadow part too dark or leave some gaps in certain areas. So I think I'll just probably use these books as examples to do copy studies with. Feel free to sketch it together with me, and if you do, please send me a picture on Instagram. I would love to see that. Now I will leave you to watch this painting process in peace and come back in a few minutes. Okay, now this study is done. I'm feeling quite happy about it. Compared to 3 years ago, I think it's a big improvement. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.